Okay, language lesson 40. So get your language books, please, and open them to page 82. Put your name and date at the top of page 82, and you may pause the video while you do that. Okay, so on page 82, we, during the last, I don't know, several weeks, we learned about our past verbs, our past tense verbs, and our past participle. We learned that any participle verb, whether present participle or past participle, has to have a helping verb. And most times when we have a past participle, our past tense verb that goes with the participle is going to have that n or that hard in it, or that hard n in it, like have eaten, have given, have seen, have taken, have gone. Those are all past participle verbs. So in section number 1, you are going to add has or have in the blanks where they are needed. If no helping verb should be used, leave the blank empty. Let's look at number 1. My sister blank went to the library. Is it okay just to say my sister went to the library? Or does went need a participle with it? It's okay. So you just will not write anything on the line. But look at number 2. I blank eaten all of my spinach. Do we say I eaten all my spinach? No, eaten definitely needs a participle verb. I have eaten all of my spinach. So that is how you are going to do the principal parts section there on page 82. At the bottom of page 82, you're going to underline the correct word in parentheses and then watch for correct spelling, agreement, and pronoun and verb usage. So you have a lot of things that you're going to be looking for there before you underline the correct word. And that does flow on over onto page 83. And then at the bottom of page 83, we have sentence structure. So we are going to underline each verb 2 times and each subject 1 time. In the blank before each sentence, write S if the sentence is simple, write C if the sentence is compound. But something else that we are going to do that I am adding to these directions are we are going to look for comma and. We're going to look for comma but. We are going to look for comma or. We are going to look for comma for. We are going to look for comma nor and comma yet. If we see a comma and, a comma but, a comma or, a comma for, a comma nor, or a comma yet, then we automatically know that we have a compound sentence. That right there is our sure giveaway that we have a compound sentence. So if we see a comma and, we will circle it. A comma but, we will circle it. A comma or, we will circle it. Comma for, we will circle it. Comma nor, we will circle it. And comma yet, we will circle it. And then we will find our subject and verb for each complete thought. All right, so number 1. Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ and thou shalt be saved. What did I see in the very first sentence? Comma and, circle it. When we have a comma and, we automatically know that we have a compound sentence. Put a C on the line. We know already it's compound. All right, so let's find our first verb. And our first complete thought, believe on the Lord Jesus Christ. Can you stand up and believe? Absolutely. So believe is your verb. Underline it twice. And what kind of sentence is that? Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ. Put your pencil down. Make your bed. Take out the trash. Feed the dogs. Walk the dog. It is an imperative sentence. It's giving a command. And what is the understood subject in an imperative sentence? It is you. So you will write you in parentheses and underline it because that is your subject. And then look at our second complete thought. Thou shalt be saved. Have, has, had, do, does, did, shall, will. Well, we can say shall or shout. will, should, would, may, might, must, can, could. So what is our verb phrase there in our second complete thought? Shalt be saved, very good. And who are what shalt be saved? Thou. So that is our subject for our second complete thought. Number 2, I knocked several times, but nobody answered the door. What did I just see in that sentence? I seen a comma but. What does that comma but tell me? That I have a compound sentence. So put a C on the line. And let's find our first verb in our first complete thought. I knocked several times. What is our verb? Knocked. And who or what knocked? I. Underline your verb twice and your subject once. Our second complete thought. Nobody answered the door. What is our verb? Answered. And who or what answered? Nobody. Very good. Number 3, there are apples and oranges in the refrigerator. What is our verb? Always and forever a verb can be nothing else. Are, underline it twice. And who or what are? Apples and oranges are. So if it's not a compound sentence, then it is a simple sentence. Put S on the line. Very good. Number 4, in the pond. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Ooh. In the pond swam the graceful swan. What is our verb? Swam. And who or what swam? The pond did not swim. Don't say that. Who or what swam? Swan. Very good. Swan is our subject. And if it's not compound, then it is simple. Put an S on the line. Very good. Number 5, Cindy wrote a poem and the teacher read it to class. What did I see? Comma and. Circle your comma and. And what kind of sentence is it if we have a comma and? A compound sentence. Put your C on the line. Let's find our first verb in our first complete thought. Cindy wrote a poem. Wrote is our verb. Underline it twice. Who or what wrote? Cindy. Very good. Underline it once. Second complete thought. The teacher read it to the class. Our verb is read. And who or what read? Teacher. Very good job. Number 6, will you and Jerry go to the store for me? Verb phrase. Verb phrase. Remember, when we have a sentence that asks a question, most times the subjects will be in the middle of a verb phrase. What's our verb? Will go. Very good. Who or what will go? You and Jerry. Very good. And if it's not a compound sentence, then it is simple. Put an S on the line. Number 7, Jenny finished the dishes and cleaned the sink. What is our verb? Finished, cleaned. Very good. Who finished, cleaned? Jenny did. Is it a compound sentence? Do not say yes. There is no comma and. There's just an and. In order for it to be compound, it's got to be comma and, comma but, comma or, comma for, comma nor, comma yet. There is no comma. There's just a conjunction and. So put S on the line. That is a simple sentence. Number 8, I just can't believe my eyes. Verb phrase. Can believe. Do not underline the N apostrophe T part of can't. Just can. And who or what can believe? I. Very good. Number 9, the view of the woods was suddenly obstructed. Verb phrase. What is it? Was obstructed. And who or what was obstructed? The woods wasn't obstructed. Don't say woods. Who or what was obstructed? View. Very good. Underline view once. And if we don't have a compound sentence, what do we have? A simple sentence. S on the line. And I don't remember saying that number 8 was a simple sentence too, but I think you guys would know that. Number 10. The Christians prayed earnestly and Peter was released from prison. What did I see? Comma and comma and tells us we have what kind of a sentence? A compound sentence. Put your C on the line. Let's find our verb in our first complete thought. Prayed. Who or what prayed? Christians. Very good. And then in our second complete thought, Peter was released from prison. What's our verb? Was released. And who or what was released? Peter. Very good. All right, so I'm going to need you to get out a clean sheet of paper. We're going to do a few diagrams. We're not going to diagram all these sentences, but I do want to practice doing some diagrams on a couple of the compound sentences. I mean more than a couple. We're going to do more than two, but not all of them, okay? So go ahead and pause the video while you get your paper out. All right, so on your paper, language, name and date, page 83 in the middle of your name and date. You can pause that video again while you get your paper set up. Okay, so let's look at number one. Number one was a compound sentence. So remember, when we diagram our compound sentence, our first complete thought goes at the top, our second complete thought goes at the bottom, and the verb part of the sentences are joined by the comma and the conjunction. Okay, so here we go. Our first subject and verb is you believe. Remember, you was the understood verb, so we wrote it with a capital letter and put it in parentheses. Believe has to be capitalized because it's capitalized in our sentence. So you believe. Our second complete thought, thou shalt be saved. We write our verb, shalt be saved. That's our verb phrase. Who or what shalt be saved? Thou. And now we have to connect our compound sentence together by connecting the verbs. We draw a chair, and on this chair we have comma and. That is our conjunction. So that is how we will diagram our compound subject. Look at number two. We have another compound subject. Our compound verb. Our compound sentence. Oh, goodness. I knocked several times, but nobody answered the door. So our first subject and verb is I knocked. I was going to write node. It's not even a word. Oh, it's getting too late, guys. I need to stop after this. I knocked. And then our second complete thought is nobody answered. So answered is our verb. Nobody is our subject. That's how we have it marked in our sentence. So we have our first complete thought diagram, our second complete thought diagram. We connect our verbs by drawing a chair. The seat is a solid line, and what goes on the seat? Comma, but. That always makes me want to laugh when I say we're putting comma but on the seat. Okay, so that's number two. Number three, let's look at, actually it's number five. Let's look at number five. I have another compound sentence here. Cindy wrote a poem and the teacher read it to the class. Our first complete thought, subject and verb is Cindy wrote. We already have it diagrammed in our, marked in our book. Our second subject and verb is teacher read. Oh, read goes over there, not teacher. That's our verb side. And then we're going to connect our verbs with our chair. And what goes on the seat of the chair? Comma, where are we at? Number five, comma, and. Okay, so I would like you to go ahead and diagram number 10 on your own. It's another compound subject or sentence, and when you get that diagrammed, you can be done.